Hi fellow Canyon Chasers, I have what many would probably call an unhealthy level of appreciation for my scooter. And today I'm going to be upgrading the suspension. So if this is of any interest to you, please stick around. So yeah, this is my heavily modified Yamaha Zuma, affectionately known as the Zumi. I fit an Athena big bore kit with some custom weights in the clutch. I matched those with a bigger carburetor, and Mike built a custom cable for it so it doesn't accelerate when you rotate the throttle forward. I fit this MotoGP inspired titanium looking exhaust pipe, integrated the rear turn signals into the tail light, and I had the wheels powder coated red because why not? I even made my own custom decals that reference one of Yamaha's greatest homologated race bikes, the OW01. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, but freaking scooters are awesome. There's just something really fun about riding a small bike at its limit. You feel like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2. Full flat out on a stock Zuma 50cc two-stroke is like 32 miles an hour. I go faster than that on my road bike. Hell, I go faster than that on my mountain bike. I even choose tires not based on what provides the best grip or the most longevity, but based on how much sound they make when you lock the rear tire and slide to a stop. It's like being 8 years old again on your BMX bike. So, one thing I've never really been able to solve on this is the anemic rear shock. It basically has no rebound damping, and the spring is really way too soft, and way too soft if you ever carry a passenger, or two, or three. A few weeks ago, I damaged my front fender, so I got on eBay, and people are selling used Zuma fenders for 60 bucks. That ain't right. But then I learned that a brand new front fender from Yamaha is, I'm not kidding, $8. But then at the bottom of the page, they had a, you may also be interested in this rear shock for about 100 bucks. And it's not even Chinese. It claims to actually be made in Taiwan, so why not? It's just arrived, so I thought we could install it and then go out for a ride and see if it's an improvement over the OEM unit. Look, you can change the ride height, and it has the ability to adjust for spring elasticity. I'm pretty sure that means you can adjust the preload. It's only 2 bolts to remove and replace, but you do need to remove the side panel, which means you have to remove the rear rack too. I'm just gonna slide a block of wood under the rear wheel to kind of take weight off the shock to make it easier to remove. The top nut has this cute little clip on it, just pull that off. And then a 14 millimeter ratchet and wrench. For some unknown reason, the bottom one is a 10 millimeter. Then it's simply a matter of just removing the bolts and removing the old shock. Looking at these two shocks side by side, there's a couple obvious differences. One being this NCY shock, even in this lowest setting, is longer than the OEM shock, but I think that's going to be compensated by the difference in the spring. The OEM shock has a straight rate spring that's pretty short. The NCY has a progressively wound spring, meaning that the coils are wider apart here and they get closer together. So that means that the energy required to get the shock moving on this progressively wound spring is less, so that you'll get a lot more compression at the beginning of the stroke, and then it gets stiffer, or it takes more energy to compress the spring the further into the stroke you go. Installing it's going to be pretty straightforward. We just put it back into place and bolt it in. Put the panels back on, and that's it. So let's go take this for a ride and see if it's any better. So, does it work? Yeah, it actually really works a peach. I mean, we're talking about scooter suspension, so it's not like the expectation was really all that high, but still. The progressive spring works just as I thought it would. The initial bump absorption is really plush, but when you start going faster, or when you have a passenger, the shock is way less likely to bottom out. I even took some preload out of the shock after a few minutes of riding, which just reinforces my opinion. Seriously, for the super reasonable price tag, this is a worthwhile upgrade. We really hope you enjoyed this quick little video, and remember, scooters are freaking awesome and deserve love too. Thanks so much for watching, and ride well.